It's the 2K Sports pregame show, brought to you by Kia.
Hey everybody, Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm joined by Shaq and the Jet. Tonight, it's the Houston Rockets as they'll be playing against the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City. And for Utah, 5-5 over their last 10 games, but they're not satisfied with 500 ball, looking to tack one onto the win tally tonight. You look at how the Jazz have been playing the past few seasons, and obviously defense has been key for them. But what other changes have allowed them to find their footing again in the Western Conference?
Well, the big change has been they cleared the way for that young front court. You know, they made some trades, and they made everyone giving those guys opportunities to grow and learn, and a commitment to Favors and Gobert. That is something to build around.
There's been a huge change in the team mentality under Coach Snyder. You're starting to see some of that toughness that people associate with the Utah Jazz. Karl Malone and John Stockton, they're back.
Do you like jazz, by the way?
No.
You don't like jazz music? You don't like?
I'm a hip-hop guy, Ernie.
I bet you like some jazz.
I love me some Herbie Hancock.
And
I love some George Benson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I love my favorite song was Mr. Magic.
I like some Dave. I like me some Dave Brubeck, the old piano. I like that.
See, you know jazz. See, you know it. Hey.
You know who else knows jazz? Big jazz fan, Kevin Harlan.
The Rockets are looking to defeat their Western Conference rival going into this game. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Chris Webber is joining us at the broadcast table alongside Greg Anthony and David Aldridge on the sideline. This is Kevin Harlan. And still injured, James Harden. They're counting the days until he returns.
Yeah, and with him being sidelined, it's going to take some creative work by this coaching staff to keep this ship afloat. They just can't roll the ball out there and let him play, not when he's not in the lineup.
What are you telling me? Yeah, it'll be hard enough to compensate for the loss of his production. But what about the loss of his leadership? That may be the biggest blow of all.
Now let's get a quick pregame update from David Aldridge, who had a chance to talk with head coach Quinn Snyder.
Well, this matchup was a win the first time these two teams met, and he said, I know a lot of people were surprised by how well we handled them in that game, but it was no surprise to us. We knew how well we matched up with them, and it was just a matter of executing the game plan. Well, let's see if they can repeat that performance today, guys.
Thank you, David. Two sharp-shooting teams here tonight, Chris. Long-range shooting on display for sure.
I tell you what, Kevin, it's never more critical than it is today. I mean, the old-school folks might not like it, but the three-point barrage is becoming the game's preeminent weapon.
Good point. Tip-off goes to Houston. Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. So on the floor for Houston, Lewis Williams out there with Patrick Beverley. Then there's Ryan Anderson. Then there's Nene. And it's Ariza in at the three, the small forward. And so the Houston Rockets get the first points of the ball game. Just 5 to shoot. Gobert dishes to Hayward. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
That defense was awful. That was just pathetic. He should not be that wide open right near the bucket.
It's good. Hayward's got his second basket of the night.
Wow, what a smart play. He recognized the height advantage and went straight to the rack.
And Beverly kicks to Williams. Left side, Anderson. Back to Williams. And Derek Favors pulls it down.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Oh, no, you're right. It's selfish on his part to attempt that. Should have passed it back out and tried to get a better look.
And stolen by Favors. And it's Hood in the corner. Jacks up a three. Can't get it to go. He's taken two and missed two. Utah's on defense, coming off that loss against the Timberwolves.
And I don't care how much you grind it out defensively. When you shoot it that poorly, you're going to struggle to win games.
Yeah, but they could have moved the ball better as well. The shot selection was poor offensive execution.
Last game for Houston, they picked up the win against Portland.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way, and that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
You're right. A lot of wide open spaces. They were running around undefended all night.
Now here's Hood, following the miss by Lewis Williams.
It would have been something to see if he could hit that shot from that deep.
But was it the best shot to take there? Not even close. Total breakdown on defense there, but fortunately he missed out.
Hood for three. Gobert the pass to Hayward. And that one drops. Hayward's got 6. Here's Beverly. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Nene dishes to Ariza. Outside Williams. To stop the drought. Nene kicks to Beverly. He wants to get it to Nene and does. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
He's showing some tenacity on the offensive glass. That's a great play right there.
Hill with it. 14 points from him the last game against Minnesota.
And he's really balanced, getting his own shots and making plays for others. Finding that balance, total team contribution.
And here is Williams. After Rodney Hood was able to get the triple. Williams gets to Ariza. Anderson the screen. Shoots off the screen. Misses off the right eye.
The defense got super lucky there because he does not miss many of those.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force him to the line.
And Rodney Hood, talk about making a jump from year 1 to year 2. Greg, he improved in almost every facet of the game.
And Hood came into the league with a reputation as a dead-eye shooter, and that's been the case from both long and mid-range off the bounce. What has surprised some people, though, is his advanced ball handling and his ability to find open teammates. A relatively quick study there. Still a ton of upside to Hood's game.
No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2. Rockets trail by 6. A baseline J. Again, the miss by Williams.
Maybe he should look to pass the ball right now and get his teammates involved, because right now, his shot's not falling. He's ice cold.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Rockets have gone just 2 of 8 shooting so far, just 25%. Now the feed to Beverly. Rocket 6 unloads from 9, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. The NBA season can be a grind, Chris, especially in the meat of it, like right now. How do you stay sharp during these dog days of the season or the middle of the season?
That's a great question, Kevin. You just got to stay focused. I mean, whether that is how you eat, how you focus, or whether that's how you stay off of your feet. You just want to make sure you stay mentally sharp, you know, and a lot of that is hanging around your family and friends as well, making sure that you stay around those that love you to keep you pumped up.
Great points.
Now, by this point, we all know the approach the Houston Rockets front office has taken to assemble a team. It's made for some great years for Houston, but they have yet to turn the corner.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And for the approach of the Rockets, a lot of it is looking for shots that are of high value, namely threes and free throws.
Well, most importantly, the players have bought in and embraced the approach. Not many players will be against the high-powered offense that gets up and down the floor.
Now here's Favors. 17 points for him last game against Minnesota.
Yeah, not to mention the 4 big steals on the night, getting after it on both ends.
Here's Williams. Gobert with the block. They get it back, and the shot is good. Here's Hill. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Left side, Hood. Down low, Gobert, and slam dunk by Gobert.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
But it's surprising, Kev, to see so little urgency on the defensive side, especially with them losing this game right now.
Now, here's Anderson. Utah with the rebound. Gobert's got his 4th rebound in this one. Hill passes to Hood. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hood's got a pair of threes now in the first quarter for the Jazz.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Here's Ariza. Buries it from about 10 feet away.
And Ariza loves getting these mid-range James. I mean, quick to fire from him.
Hill kicks to Favors. Stolen by Anderson. Pass to Beverly. Houston moving the ball around and finished off by Anderson.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Oh, well, that's because it was terrific anticipation. Also, the quick hands, a lethal combination.
And we see the growth of the three-point shooting big man, the stretch 4, if you will. Ryan Anderson was at the forefront, it seems, of that movement.
Yeah, especially at his volume of threes. He's never been just a secondary floor spacer. He's a go-to scoring threat with his outside shooting.
And a chance now to review the shot chart.
Well, you have to think that he is going to look to go to the rim a little more often going forward because the three ball just hasn't been there. Sometimes it seems he's not getting his feet set or rushing his shooting motion, but either way, it just ain't falling.
Here's Hill. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Gobert, the screen. Hill kicks to Favors. He dishes it to Hood. Here's Gobert. That one falls.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
Williams against Hill. Shot's good by Williams.
And how about that exhale there? Finally gets one to fall through 6 attempts.
Jazz leading by 5. Now here is Hill. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game. And a wide open look for Hood. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got his 4th assist in this one. For Houston, they've gone 6 of 14 shooting the ball since the start of the game. Hill against Williams. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It's going to be on Rudy Gobert. And for a guy with a slight frame, Lou Williams can be one of the most aggressive players in the NBA, especially when driving to the basket.
And Kevin, I call it, he's a professional scorer.
Yes.
He can get streaky hot from beyond the arc, so you have to stay up on him. He puts the ball on the deck and uses his quickness to get past you. You almost always have to foul him to prevent him from getting to the basket, and he shoots a high percentage from the line.
He's off on the first. Well, Chris, the adage for a long time in many sports has been that great defense beats great offense. Do you think that really, though, holds true in the NBA?
No, I think great offense helps great defense, and great defense helps great offense. I think you need both in this league. I don't care if you have great defense if you can't score on the other end. I don't care if you can score on the other end and not get a stop on the other end. So, you know, I think to make one clear statement like it's black or white, or to stand on one side of the line in the sand is just wrong. It's a balance of everything, and so therefore it's not one or the other. You need both.
Yeah, great perspective. Now here's Exum. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game.
He could not have been more wide open. I'm sure he's kicking himself for missing out.
Gordon against Burks. Decker dishes to Capella. Utah with the rebound. They won their last game against the Rockets in Houston.
And the last time they faced this club, rebounding was their big advantage. Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Score the basket. Nice shot after missing his first attempt.
And Capella is very efficient down deep, using his muscle to get off the shots he wants inside.
Exum kicks to Lyles. Diaw, the screen. A shot by Burks. Nobody around. No good that time. The Rockets go the other way with it. Inside. Here's Harrell. And Harrell slams it in.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Well, also a miscommunication on defense. No one rotates over. See ya.
Now, here's Exum. Looking for his first basket still in this one. And here is Williams. Shoots from 12. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That's on Dante Exum. The Rockets have gone 3 of 4 at the free throw line tonight.
And taking a look at their free throw statistics on the season, right around 74%.
And that one falls for Williams.
And the Utah Jazz, with all their young talent, a team that's been on the cusp in the Western Conference, I mean, they felt they were ready to make a playoff push, and acquiring some quality veteran leaders with George Hill, Joe Johnson, and Boris Diaw, I think is just what the doctor ordered.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And for the Jazz, Greg, do you like their moves this summer, adding all those veterans?
George Hill, I think, fits a need at the point guard, but can also play alongside Dante Exum. Boris Diaw, a skilled big man who fits well with Gobert and Derek Favors. And then Joe Johnson, a proven shooter and scorer in big-time possessions. So I think overall they did well.
Decker gets the bucket.
He's not the most prolific shooter from downtown, but someone on defense still has to check him.
Now, here's Exum. He's guarded by Williams. Diaw with a wide-open look. There's Lyles, and there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time.
Yeah, they got that one, but early on, it's really been a struggle for them to secure that defensive backboard.
Now here's Williams. He's tightly guarded. Kicks it to Decker. Lock at 6. 17-foot shot on the way. Williams' shot is off.
They were right up in his grill. Really gave him no breathing room to release that one clean.
It's stolen by Capella. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. And it's good. Fought through contact. It's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Well, of course it did. The D was nowhere to be found, and because of that, he easily sprinted down the court and got an easy bucket on that.
Hill, he's checked in for Utah. And a switch here also for Houston. Stone's checked in. And looking at the Jazz roster, they're a well-balanced group. You see scorers, Greg, playmakers, rebounders, shot blockers, plenty of quality depth.
And they've done a great job of drafting. Many of the main pieces of the puzzle seem to be in place. The next step for me is, will one of these young core players emerge as a superstar?
And the pass to Decker. Fires from deep. Burks pulls it in. Jazz leading by 3. Hill kicks to Diaw. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, it's no secret, Chris, that Mike D'Antoni is an offensive-minded coach.
Well, everywhere he's gone, offense has not been the problem for his team. He's long been regarded as the mastermind of one of the best offensive teams ever with the Suns. A lot of his assistants from those days are now head coaches in the league or in front offices.
And the first one drops. And Diaw drops them both.
Well, the crowning moment for the Rockets' franchise history has to be their back-to-back titles in '94 and '95. Jordan was out of the league, and it was time to shine for Houston. Hakeem Olajuwon led their team to their only 2 titles in franchise history.
Now here's Gordon. Coming in off a 12-point game his last outing. 5 on the clock. Here's Harrell. Can't finish the one-handed jam.
Yeah, but you have to love that tough interior defense.
That is phenomenal work down there in the thick of it. This is the kind of D you want to see from him every time down the court.
And he's good on the 3-ball. Hill's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. And with the Rockets' pair of titles, what a scrappy group of teams those were. Drexler and Olajuwon were the stars, but everyone could play on their team.
Well, what is really wild about the '95 run is that the Rockets were a 6th seed. That was the lowest seeded team to ever win the NBA Finals.
Diaw, there's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. And now a 10-point Jazz lead.
Yeah, off to a strong start here early. 6 points off second-chance buckets.
For 3, Gordon. The first quarter concludes in a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. It's the Jazz as they wrap up the first quarter with a big 11-3 run. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And taking a look at the Jazz performance here, guys, what have they been doing or not doing?
Really active hands early on here as they're able to acquire several steals.
I mean, jumping passing lanes, pressuring the ball, really forcing their opponents into some of these mistakes.
Utah leading by 10. Hayward and Favors holding down those forward spots. Hill is out there with Alec Burks. And it's Diaw in at the pivot spot manning the middle. That's the group for Utah getting going here in the second. Hayward can hit.
That was a half-hearted pick. And he was just going through the motions on that possession, and now it ends up costing him.
Here's Gordon. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
How about the concentration? He gets hit, but stays with the play and gets the finish.
The Jazz making a switch here. Hood's checked in. The Rockets also changing it up. Nene, he's checked in for Clint Capella. And it's Anderson in for Decker. A free throw good from Eric Gordon. Chris, you're a Detroit product through and through. Grew up in the area and played for the University of Michigan. Did growing up in Detroit impact at all how you played the game?
Oh, man, definitely. You know, growing up on the west side of Detroit, I just, you know, everybody in Detroit is a Pistons fan. So, number one, that influenced me a big time. It's funny, Isaiah was my favorite player, and after he won the MVP a couple of times, he would always say, "Hi, Mom. Hey, Mom. Hi, Mom." So that's why after every game, I actually did it and was influenced that way. And Chuck Daly, he was a mentor to me. He knew me in high school, but as I grew older, his relationship meant a lot to me. So I can't thank, you know, Isaiah and Rick Mahorn. You know, I met those guys in high school. I can't thank them enough for their positive influence on me. Guys like John Sally and of course, Joe Dumars. So played for other teams, but as a fan, I always grew up a Pistons fan.
Like that. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Guys, the Utah Jazz is one of the up-and-coming teams in the West, and it was a system-wide commitment to young players. The younger teams tend to struggle, but head coach Quinn Snyder said he's committed to letting his players learn through their mistakes. He said it may be painful at times, but that's how we get better. In a lot of things, the only way to learn is through experience.
They're catching on quickly, thanks, D.A. And here's Ariza after Gordon Hayward hitting the three. And the shot's good from Nene.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Now Exum. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Hood kicks to Diallo. Here's Favors. And plenty of contact on the shot. So, 2 free throws coming up. And Houston gets called for the foul.
I tell you what, Derek Favors has arrived. I mean, the 3rd overall pick back in the 2010 draft. Never a doubt about the ability and the talent, but I think it took him a while to get comfortable playing at this level. And in the last 2 seasons, it feels like he's just kind of put it all together. It oftentimes takes young guys coming into this league a little bit of time to develop their niche and their identity, but once they do, boy, watch out.
And Utah making a change here. Gobert's checked in, and a change for the Rockets. Patrick Beverly, he's checked in for Eric Gordon. That one falls, so he hits both of them. And talking about the improvements made by Favors, he's really added something to his game, Greg, every single year.
A great point. I mean, he plays the pick and roll beautifully now, whether it's rolling to the basket on offense or using his mobility to deter the pick and roll at the other end. I mean, the versatility to man both front court spots is a huge plus when you're playing matchups. If he can just stay healthy, he has the potential to become a perennial all-star.
Now, when you take a look at Patrick Beverly, a bit of a late bloomer in that he didn't start his NBA career until he was 24 years old. He played in several leagues in Europe after his college days as a Razorback. He honed his game and won some hardware overseas before deciding to come to the NBA.
That's good from Beverly. And for Beverly, he was actually drafted back in 2009, but Chris didn't come to the States until 2013.
Well, it doesn't matter how you get to the NBA. It just matters what you do when you get there. Beverly had a few summer league trials while he was in Europe, but nothing stuck until he arrived in Houston. Sometimes it's just about the great situation, the great match for both. He has the game to stick around in this league, so I don't think he'll be leaving anytime soon.
Chris, we know this. Patrick Beverly is known for his tough defense.
I wouldn't call him dirty, but Beverly definitely isn't shy about ruffling feathers or giving a little extra contact. He doesn't care what the crowd thinks. He cares what his teammates think. He'll get tangled up and try to throw you off of your game with punishing fouls, but so what? His work is he is one of the more feared defenders at the point guard position.
Gobert with the block. It's out of bounds to the Rockets as Houston retains possession. And stolen by Hood. Out in his own on the break. Up the floor. A nice shot by Exum. Exum's got his first bucket of the night.
Man, that's just tremendous court vision and timing. That assist was right on the money.
Ariza. It's good.
It's clear to me. Is it clear to you that Ariza feels at home in the post? I mean, just working his way inside and nailing these quality shots.
And Hayward gets it to go on the assist by Exum. 13 points for Gordon Hayward.
They are up in this game right now, and he is one of the reasons why, given his stellar shooting from the field.
And Beverly kicks to Ariza. Anderson passes to Nene. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And modern NBA defenses have changed pretty dramatically since the league stopped enforcing man-to-man as the only strategy. What do you see from that change?
I see from that change guys kind of losing their skill one-on-one, having to score because they aren't used to playing against true defenses. I think sometimes it's a cop-out for the defense. I think the NBA is a different league. I think the NBA are the best players in the world, and therefore you should be able to guard your man one-on-one. I think that rule may have been put in place so that coaches can hide defenders on their team that can't play defense, but yet still keep them as an integral part of the team on offense on the other end. So I'm definitely not a big fan of it, but hey, it's a rule, and if I were a coach, I'd definitely use it if I saw fit. But it's just so hard to rebound on defense, so easy for the offense to rebound because you can't see. You have to communicate that much more. But, hey, if you're playing against a team that is shooting the lights out and you want to stop penetration sometime, that may be the way to go, but not a big fan of the zone.
Like that. So it's the Rockets now, following the bucket by the Jazz.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Here's Gobert, and he banks in the layup. Gobert's got his third basket of the night right there.
He does not play the score. I mean, he's going to continue to work his tail off on the glass and make plays just like that.
Keep it simple, know yourself, and that's how he gets his minutes. He doesn't stop battling for rebounds even when the score is lopsided. He knows his role.
And the Stifle Tower, the French rejection, whichever name you want to give for Rudy Gobert, it probably speaks to his tremendous rim protection abilities, Greg.
Man, a few years back at the Combine, his wingspan measured at a record 7 feet, 8.5 inches. Clearly one of the league's premier shot blockers. Very difficult to shoot a high percentage against him. And at the offensive end, he's become an excellent rebounder and finisher in traffic.
Excellent D to force that miss there. That took real courage to risk being on a poster, being he's one of the best dunkers in the game.
And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Jazz passing it around. Hood against Beverly. 6 to shoot. On its way from Hayward for 2. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim. Sloan dishes to Beverly. And Trevor Ariza is going to pick up a foul here. That's his first foul.
Yeah, he looked clumsy on that one. He was not going to get away with that.
Jazz leading by 11. Exum with it. Outside Favors. Hayward outside. Hood for 3. And it's Hood again missing.
Oh, he hasn't started this game on the right foot, but it hasn't slowed his team from grabbing the lead.
Second shot opportunity, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Just creating havoc for the opponents the last few games.
He has been unguardable. No one has been able to figure him out recently.
Joe Johnson, he's checked in for Utah. Alec Burks comes in for Gordon Hayward.
Shooting one.
Free throw no good for Nene. And a problem that this Rocket team, Chris, has had to deal with the last few seasons is quitting on themselves during games.
I mean, that's something you have to bring to the table as a player yourself. That's something that is very hard to coach out of a team or prevent because it's all on the mentality of the players. Just mental lapses in general have been a big problem for the Rockets over the last couple of seasons. And it's a shame because they have been so deadly when they all have their heads in the game from start to finish.
Now, here's Ariza. Derek Favors unable to get his shot to go. Ariza against Hood. Ariza passes to Nene. And Nene slams it in.
And wait to finish and cut into that lead a little bit.
Yeah, but look at the basket, guys, still shaking. Here's Exum. And At the top of the key, Favors. And that one comes up a bit short.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
No, you're right. It's selfish on his part to attempt that. Should have passed it back out and tried to get a better look.
Now, here's Anderson. He's coming off a 28-point game against Portland. Down low, here's Exum. That's basket number 2 with his third shot off to a fast 2 for 3.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Here's Sloan. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
I'll tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
And the first one at the line is good.
And though the Jazz are, still developing that roster, they do have an identity. And the one area that's been constant for them is defense. Number 1 in the league a couple seasons ago, last year near the top as well. And so they're not going to be a fun team for you to play against if you have one of those high-octane offenses.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And an interesting thing about the Jazz defense, as proficient, Greg, as they've been, one wonders why the team hasn't done better in the win-loss column over the last few years.
And Kevin, the problem is, as solid as they've been defensively, that's how challenged at times they are offensively in terms of just scoring the basketball. They've been hanging around the bottom of the league in that category for a while.
Frieza. And what was that about? Not a good shot right there. Jazz leading by 9. Exum kicks to Johnson. Plenty of space. And he overshot that one, missing.
He gets paid the big bucks to hit shots like that consistently. He failed to do so there.
Beverly against Burks. Nene dishes to Anderson. Excellent D there by Johnson.
And that's the way you want to defend. Nice job there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's just picture-perfect defense there. Really stifled this man and gave him no chance at a clean look. Not good. He already has 2 early fouls here, and he has to watch himself for the rest of the half.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Nene. Harrell comes in for Ryan Anderson. And Sam Decker's subbed in for Trevor Ariza. That one falls. His second basket of the game. He's now 2 for 3.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Now a timeout called by Houston. And the Rockets have a big fan base in Texas and the surrounding area. There's no doubt. But they also, Chris, have one of the biggest fan bases overseas.
Well, let's be honest. The reasoning for the huge Chinese following, of course, was Yao Ming. Yao was not only an incredible player, but a huge ambassador for the sport and the Rockets. Amazing that his impact and fandom still can be found with the Rockets, even years after his retirement.
Hill, he's checked in for Hood. And just who is providing all the playmaking here tonight? Let's look at the breakdown between the front and back court for Houston.
And their guards are taking on the majority of the passing and assisting for the team, just as you might expect. The bigs doing their part by getting to good spots inside and making themselves available.
Here is Williams. He picked up 21 points in their last win against the Trailblazers in Portland. Capella, the pass to Decker. Another miss by Houston. Jazz leading by 11. Exum with a wide open look. Decker with the rebound. Houston's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Here's Harrell. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. This break in the action gives us a chance to show you the NBA's current fast break specialists. Fifth best, the Rockets.
It's an entertaining style of play. And look, those are the baskets you want if you've got the legs for it. Scoring becomes a lot easier.
Two shots.
That's good from Harrell. Boris Diaz checked in for Utah. Both shots good from the stripe. Utah leading by 9. Now here is Hill. Passes it to Lyles. It's back to Hill. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Shooting one.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Eric Gordon, he's checked in for Patrick Beverly. The Jazz shooting their 7th free throw attempt here.
And collectively, they're only about 73% as a unit right now.
Rockets trail by 11. 16 feet away. And they will call over the back on the play.
Yeah, not afraid of the physical play, but he still needs to stay under control.
For Utah, they have had 7 opportunities at the free throw line and made good on 5 of them. Good on both. Rockets shooting a lackluster 38% for the game, struggling so far. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Utah has turned a corner, establishing its identity under Quinn Snyder as a youthful, defensive-minded team. Coach Snyder said, our players have gotten better. Our team has gotten better. There was a connectivity and a defensive mindset that was bubbling beneath the surface. The habits were there. The intensity was there. Things have just clicked. Kevin?
All right, D.A., they're on the rise. Here's Hill, following the score by Lou Williams. Burks. Rebound by Harrell. Rockets trail by 11. Burks with the steal. And now Utah, fast break. Burks leading the charge. Hill, no good. Houston's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter.
And a chance here to look at the numbers for Capella. 7th in rebounding, 14th in field goal percentage, and of course, rim protection always at a premium. That's an important part of his game. Top 20 in blocks per.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
And that one misses. Good on the second free throw. And Utah has possession. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. They'll be playing host to Miami for the next game. They'll find themselves in the middle of this string of 3 straight at home. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. Look at Utah. Off to a great start this season, currently in 2nd. And, of course, Houston. Not in the same realm right now in terms of their record.
Right now for the Jazz, of all the storylines this young season, their success may be the most surprising. This was not a team that was expected to make this much of a splash.
I mean, let's be honest. No one expected them to be this good this early on. It caught everyone off guard.
Just 5 to shoot. Johnson sends the screen for Hill.
After nailing an outside jumper during the first quarter, he can't seem to build off of it in this second.
Williams attacking. Utah with the rebound.
Now, this would be a totally different ballgame if this shot was on target like it usually is.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. The Jazz have gone 7 of 9 from the free throw line tonight.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good. So he gets them both. Rockets trail by 12. On the wing, Eric Gordon. Burks covering. And here's Decker. He's got 6. Gordon goes in. It's hauled in by Lyles. Lyles got 4 rebounds now tonight. Here's Diaw. Kicks it out to Johnson. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson.
Couldn't come up with that pass there. Clearly wasn't expecting it.
Houston's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Here's Gordon. From 11 feet away. Here's Capella. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Oh, man, and the 6'10" frame of Capella. I mean, when he's close inside, he's a huge threat to put the ball in the bucket. But when you watch Clint Capella play, you notice how smooth he moves for a center of his size. He gets off the floor easily to contest shots or grab boards. He can cover a lot of space in a short amount of time when acting as the help defender.
And he can't get the first one. And with Capella in his movement, you also like what it does for him in transition.
Well, don't forget, Capella has that deceptive limp, too. You don't think he can take off from that far out and get a shot. But all of a sudden, boom, he's dunking right there on your dome or throwing your shot out to the third row for a souvenir for some kid to take home.
He hits the second from the line.
Wow, and the big man Capella has proven to be a reliable role player, a strong physical presence who takes smart shots and contributes well on D.
Now here is Hill. 5 points in the game. Count it. Hill's got the lead up to 13 now for the Jazz.
And the interior D is really starting to be exposed here. How many layups have they gotten today?
Oh, you asking me? The defense has been garbaggio. I've lost track. The D has been non-existent, and they've taken full advantage of it.
Here's Gordon. And you can see his scoring totals. Those are some pretty good numbers. He's putting up close to 15 points a game on average.
So comfortable from distance, especially when no one runs him off of his spot.
Now here's Johnson. Pass to Lyles. Diaw, the screen. Here's Burks. The pick gave him all the room he needed, and he knocks down the J.
And no fight left in the defense there after a teeth-rattling pick.
Williams kicks to Gordon. In the corner, Harrell with it. Back to Gordon. Shot from the low block. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. It's going to go on Alec Burks. First one falls for him.
Strong take to get the foul there after not getting it there in the first quarter.
The Jazz making a switch here. Hayward's checked in. All free throws good from Eric Gordon.
And yet just another thing he does well. He just has a certain feel for this game.
Now Hill. He's got 7. Three-pointer. It's rebounded by Houston. Capella's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Feeds to Harrell. There's the steal. They've got the 5-on-3 advantage. And the basket by Diaw.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Williams kicks to Decker. They get the rebound. Shoots the 3. That's another miss. Number 4. He's 2 for 6 shooting. Utah leading by 12. Diaw dishes to Hayward. Trying to find Diaw. Gets it to him. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got 6 rebounds in the game. Williams for 3. And the first half is now in the books. Jazz lead by 12. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. With Coach Quinn Snyder. Quinn, what has to happen in the second half?
Well, we got to keep getting stops and really just make plays. Make plays on the offensive end and be solid defensively. No magic.
It's a pretty simple game, right, Coach? Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And what an amazing performance the hometown fans are witnessing here tonight. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. Gordon Hayward wasting no time getting hot. He had 13 points and 1 rebound. And Shaq, what did you think about what we saw from Utah?
Well, I like it, Ernie, because they're just not settling for outside shots. You know, that part of the game is pretty when it's going in. We've seen plenty of teams try that and fail. Got to have a balanced approach. And tonight, they found a ton of success inside. Basketball and championships are won inside out. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about the Rockets?
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
That's it for halftime. We will see you and you too later. Now back to the action.
We welcome you back down to Salt Lake City with a breathtaking view of the layout of this beautiful town. Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. It's been a clinic from the name.
And the thing I noticed most in that first half was his offense. He was not wasteful with his opportunities and also did a great job of converting with the chances he had.
Yeah, sound fundamentals. Lots of patience that led to that efficient scoring effort.
Utah leading by 12. And on the floor for Mike D'Antoni starting the second half. They've got Trevor Ariza. Nene is out there with Anderson. Then there's Lewis Williams. And it's Beverly in at the two-guard spot. Hood for 3. The shot, no good. And Houston the other way now. Favors can't get it to go. Hood against Beverly. Williams attacking. Got a piece of it. In transition, here come the Jazz. Here's Hood. Favors with the ball. Hill passes to Diop. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got assist number 5 here tonight. Rockets trail by 14. Williams kicks to Ariza. It's good. Ariza's got 6 points.
Now look, playing with high energy inside, that always leads to a high percentage look.
Second half of basketball, just over a minute played so far. It's blocked, and it's out of bounds. The Jazz able to retain possession here. Rudy Gobert, he's checked in for Boris Diaw. Here's Hood. Hayward on the wing. Just 5 on the clock. Knocked away. Favors. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. And a look here at the shot chart.
And there isn't a whole lot of positive that you can take away from his performance from the mid-range game so far. A lot of chances have come up empty for him, but he seems intent on taking jumpers out there. Something's got to give.
Rockets trail by 12. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Here's Beverly, and off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him. Beverly's got his second bucket tonight. Utah has gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Hill kicks to Favors. Pick up by Hill. Favors dishes to Hayward. He kicks to Favors. Stolen by Beverly. Ariza outside. It's tipped. And now Utah, fast break. Hood, the pass to Hill. Outside Favors. It's back to Hill. Here's Anderson. Had a chance there to cut it to single digits, but it's off target. Jazz leading by 10. Here's Hood. It's rebounded by Houston. Nene's got 7 rebounds in the game. Here's Beverly. Up again. Favors with the rebound.
He just looks off in this one. Can't seem to throw it in the ocean.
Here's Gobert. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
This is his first trip to the line tonight. No good on the free throw. Donald Sloan's checked in for the Rockets. And he's good on the second. And so Mike D'Antoni has had enough. Timeout.
Clearly, he's not pleased with all the looks they've given up on the inside, and also to get them to tighten up that defense.
And they may have to address a number of things, including whether this is the right lineup.
And a moment to see numbers for Trevor Ariza. He's around 10 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And the numbers won't wow you, but I like the effort he brings to the table each and every night.
Here's Sloan. He's guarded by Hill. Ariza goes in. Gobert with the block. Here's Favors. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. 6 points for Derek Favors.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Well, of course it did. The D was nowhere to be found, and because of that, he easily sprinted down the court and got an easy bucket on that one.
Here's Sloan. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Hood for 3. Knocks down the 3-ball.
Such a height mismatch out on the perimeter, and they give up the triple.
And Beverly gets to Ariza. And stolen by Hayward. And now Hayward pushing it up. No one back to stop him.
And as they continue to just dominate this game, you have to wonder, how much can they win by?
Well, some people call it front running, but as the league continues to expand, their confidence continues to soar right now.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. Now here's Hood. 13 points in the game. And Favors kicks to Hill. Gobert the screen. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And Hayward gets it to go.
And how about the percentage they're shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half?
And I tell you what, Gordon Hayward just steadily has grown into one of the better offensive players in the league. He does a great job of scoring it off the dribble. He's also at that small forward position, can be kind of a point forward, if you will, with his playmaking ability. And I like to call him, use a baseball term, he's like a 5-tooler. I mean, he does all the things you want a basketball player to do well on the floor. And to cap it all off, he is a great teammate as well.
Here is Hayward following the score by Houston. That's a 2 from Hood. And that one goes long.
His shot is not on target right now. He better figure this out fast.
And Sloan kicks to Anderson. And the rejection by Favors. And so the ball's out of bounds. Favors touched it last. For the Jazz, Joe Johnson, he's checked in for Favors. And it's Exum in for George Hill. Knocks it loose and stolen by Hood. Here we go, one-on-one. Here's Johnson, and it's Sloan with the rebound. Talking about Hayward's versatility on offense, some would say his ability to cover smaller, quicker players defensively is another reason his star is on the rise.
His ability to get stops on the ball as well as provide quick help to his teammates is really priceless. The question now is ceiling. How much better overall can Hayward get? Some think he's more of a number 2 guy than a superstar. Some will tell you the sky's the limit.
Now a timeout called by Houston.
Yeah, it's got to be concerned with all the missed shots here, and every team goes through cold streaks. You just got to figure out a way to stay productive.
The other angle is up to their aggressiveness on drives. They have to create the contact, maybe live at the free throw line for a while.
Gordon Hayward with another strong contribution so far in this one.
He's just hitting everything out there. The defense looks utterly dumbfounded in terms of how to slow him down.
Rockets trail by 17. Here's Sloan. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. And Ariza with the stuff.
Just phenomenal awareness by Beverly, just dishing the ball to the wide open man easily.
Now here's Exum. Gobert the screen. Exum sets a screen for Johnson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shoots from the elbow. And it's Johnson again missing. Jacks up a 3. Rebounded by the Jazz. Earlier in the game, they had a 19-point lead. Here's Hood. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
I love the killer instinct he shows right there, exploding to the rim to add to the lead.
No mercy. He's one of the best at slamming the door shut in the opposition's face when they're trying to come back.
Houston making a switch here. Clint Capella, he's checked in for Nene. Harrell comes in for Anderson. Decker's checked in for Trevor Ariza. And Eric Gordon subbed in for Patrick Beverly. Perhaps the most memorable team, Chris, you played on, the Kings of the early 2000s. We see a lot of teams now that have that same up-tempo style with great passing. Is this the way basketball is meant to be played?
You know, I think so. I think, you know, you have 5 players on the court, and unlike other sports, you have to play offense and defense on this team. And so to keep guys motivated, to keep guys engaged, you know, you want guys that want to touch the ball and score. There could be guys that can be just decoys out there, but they're still touching the ball, being part of the offense. And it's no worse feeling than to come down for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possessions and not touch the ball. And as a fan, for me, it's nothing worse than watching the team come down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possessions and the guy try to go one-on-one and he really can't score. And you're looking at the coach like, get this guy off the floor. So team basketball is great. Why? Because you get more open looks, better shot selection. You get different guys in different positions. And I think most importantly, you don't think about this, you get more highlights because it makes the defense move from side to side. It makes the defense more engaged and pay attention. And therefore, when they slip up, it's that much more special with the play. And you can only do that mostly with 5 players that move the ball. So, yeah, team ball is definitely the best player. But even on the best teams, you need a guy that can go get you some buckets.
I like that. Lyles checked in for the Jazz. That one is off. So we can't get either to fall.
And they are shooting themselves in the foot here. They've lost their touch at the line. The percentage continues to drop from where it was in that first half.
Hayward outside. Goes up at the stripe. It's good. Hayward's got 22.
And that keeps him perfect from the field this quarter.
And Sloan kicks to Gordon. Yep, that one goes in there. Here's Exum. He feeds it to Johnson. And here's Burks. Johnson with a screen on Gordon. Now the dish to Hayward. The Jazz working the ball around now. Clock at 4. Exum. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Here's Decker. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. Well, these are the players you don't want to give any space to beyond the arc right now. The best long-range shooting guards in the past 10 games. Well, you look at Burks. He's absolutely deadly from outside.
And, you know, two-guard is where we traditionally find the best shooters in our league, and he's no exception to that rule. I mean, look at the success he's having from three-point range.
Two shots.
That free throw good from Decker. And the Jazz making a change here. Diaz checked in. And so he hits both. Jazz leading by 16. Exum kicks to Lyles, dishes it to Burks. And there's the feed to Exum. Here's Lyles, rebounded by Capella. Capella's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. To the middle. Here's Harold. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. And this is his 3rd trip to the line tonight.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low numbers.
And he makes the first. That one misses. Utah has gone 2 of 5 with the three-point shot since coming out of the break.
And really a good job spotting his teammate near the bucket and then just pinpoint passing for the finish.
Rockets trail by 17. Here's Gordon. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
You can tell that's the game plan on defense. They don't want to allow him to take many shots inside.
Hayward can't hit. Rockets have gone 7 for 16 in the second half from the field, shooting a bit under 50%. Decker gets the bucket. Jazz leading by 15. Now Exum. Pass to Burks. There's the 3. Rebounded by Capella. The Rockets shooting 47% from the field in the 3rd. Over in the corner, Decker, and stolen by Hayward. Here's Exum. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Hayward's got 5 assists tonight.
And you can see the difference with their ability to win with their speed, guys.
Well, they really pride themselves in beating the opposition with their transition game, and they've demonstrated yet again today.
Now, here's Decker. 10 points for him. Gordon, just 5 on the clock. Burks with the steal. Hayward dishes to Exum, and he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed. Exum's got 4 points this quarter.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling down.
Harold the pass to Capella. And Harold slams it in.
Undersized power forward, but his ups are tremendous. That's why he can be successful.
Jazz leading by 17. Here's Exum. That's good. Basket number 5 on a 5 for 8 night shooting.
Not an easy finish right there, but a beautiful move to give himself just enough space to get in close and knock it down.
And it's Gordon missing. Utah shooting around 48% so far in the 3rd. Exum kicks to Lyles. Goes back up. Hayward can't hit.
Well, even though the defense made their presence felt, he needs to hit inside shots like that.
Gordon dishes to Decker. Burks with the steal. And here we go. The pass to Lyles. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. Lyles got 10 points.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
And Sloan kicks to Harrell. Gordon against Burks. And out of bounds as the Jazz gain possession. Derek Favors checked in for Trey Lyles. And a change for the Rockets. Lou Williams is checked in for Donald Sloan. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Kicks to Burks. And it's Exum in the corner. Utah the rebound. Basket good. Diaw's got 4 points now in the quarter.
The defense not putting up any fight on the inside. They've allowed 10 straight points in the paint.
At the elbow, it's Decker. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And at the end of the third quarter, and we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. And so it's Houston with it. Hill pairs up with Hood in the backcourt. Hayward out there with Johnson. And it's Favors in at the 5. That's the group right now for Utah. Shots good by Williams.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Strong fundamentals right there. He didn't consider the height disadvantage too long. Instead, he just went right at him and sunk it in his grill, in the face.
Here's Johnson, following the score by Lou Williams. 6 on the shot clock. Johnson, the pass to Favors. Basket, good.
Absolutely. Positively. No D there. If they're going to guard them like that, this is going to be a long game for them.
And Beverly kicks to Anderson. He dishes it to Nene. Back to Anderson. 11 feet away, and the shot's good from Nene. Nene's got 20. A little over a minute of the fourth quarter gone right now. To the inside, stolen by Anderson. Williams against Hill. From downtown. And it's Beverly missing.
Now, these are just terrible shots he's attempting right now. No reason whatsoever for this kind of horseplay.
And Favors kicks to Hill. Put on the wing, defended by Beverly. Johnson's shot is off.
And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
Here's Anderson. The rebound by the Jazz. Hill with it. Johnson outside. Again, the miss by Johnson.
And he has slipped into a funk. You can see the confidence is shaken.
Yeah, everybody goes through slumps. He can't let it get to him, though. Everyone makes mistakes on the floor. You just have to always be thinking about the next play.
Now, here is Hill. And Hayward gets it to go on the assist by Hill. Hill's got assist number 8 now on the night. Just under 2.5 minutes gone here in the final quarter. Outside Williams. To the inside. Here's Anderson. Parked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call.
You can't afford to be playing that loose right now.
Man, there's no room for careless play like that at this point in the game. Has to be smarter than that.
Trey Lyles checked in for the Jazz. Now here is Hill. The offensive rebound. Favors. Here's Ariza. Outside Williams. I think everyone would agree, Chris, you're one of the best passing big men in the history of the NBA. Why is it that passing from post players isn't a skill that is developed more at all levels of basketball?
Well, one thing, it seems like we have less post players, but you know what? I'm not sure. I think maybe it's been an emphasis on scoring. I don't know. All I can speak about is me, Kevin, and I grew up watching, you know, Magic Johnson, who at that time was a freakish player because he was 6'9", playing the point guard. You know, think about how the game has evolved. And so for myself, I wanted to take that passing skills of him, Connie Hawkins, other guys that I saw hold the ball with one hand and palm it in the post, guys that I knew can dominate in the post, and I kept thinking, you know, why waste the possession? If I'm going to beast down here in this post, if I get double teamed, you know, I don't want to just pass it out for a waste of possession. Why not make something happen with it? So maybe it could be the mentality as well.
Well said. Here's Beverly, accurate with the jumper from the elbow.
And really, Beverly is very reliable from the mid-range area. I mean, his jumper has come a long way.
Hill dishes to Favors. Passes it to Hayward. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. Hayward's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Nope. Not how Coach drew it up, but I'm sure they'll take it.
Anderson can't get that one to fall. Utah leading by 23. Outside Hill. The three-pointer no good.
One made three for him for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
And stolen by Hood. Williams against Hill. Pass to Favors. Feeds it to Hayward. A three-pointer off the mark. Rockets have gotten only 3 of their 9 field goal attempts to go down since the end of the third. Pretty cold down the stretch. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And going into this last draft, some new rules allowing college players more leeway, Chris, to test the NBA draft waters. Do you like that change?
I do like that change. I like it for the team, so they get a little more time to examine players and study and see who they really want. And I really like it for the players. You know, this is the biggest decision of some of these guys' lives, and being able to decide if you really want to go forward with it or do you need a little more time or evaluate where you are in the process. You know, I think that's very important, and so I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah. Great points. Boris Diaz checked in for Lyles. Both free throws good from Anderson. And so it's Utah here with the ball. They've given up just 8 points in the fourth quarter. Favors with the screen. Favors sets the pick for Hill. Outside Hood. Shot clock at 5. For the 3. Kept alive. Diaw can't hit.
And that's the way you want to defend. Nice job there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's just picture-perfect defense there. Really stifled his man and gave him no chance at a clean look.
Now here's Nene. Over in the corner, Williams. Sinks the triple. Williams has got 5 points in the quarter.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Now here is Hill. Favors with the screen. Down low. That's tipped. Tries again. They shoot again. It's rebounded by Houston. Ariza's got 4 rebounds now tonight. 17-foot shot on the way. Again, the miss by Williams. Hood for 3. A second chance effort. That one doesn't drop. And it's Houston the other way. Outside Williams. Out to the right wing. Anderson passes to Nene. Second chance shot. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Two shots.
First free throw is good. Joe Johnson, he's checked in for Utah. And so he's able to get 1 of 2. Jazz leading by 17. Nice ball movement by Utah. And that one's good by Favors.
And a crafty pass into the lane. Perfectly executed.
And here is Williams. Anderson outside. Nene, the screen. Here's Ariza. And it comes off the front of the rim.
But that would have been lucky had it fallen. Poor shot selection.
Well, that's just not wise to take that shot in that situation. He'll think better of it next time around.
Rockets with the rebound. Anderson's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
Now, he doesn't look like himself right now. Nothing is going his way.
Beverly. True on the 14-footer. Beverly's got 4 points this quarter.
You really have to love seeing Beverly be aggressive on offense. I mean, when he's looking for his jumper, it makes his team all the more dangerous.
Right side Favors. Pick up by Hill. And Favors kicks to Hood. And that one goes long. Rockets trail by 17. Williams dishes to Anderson. And finished off by Anderson.
And didn't do anything fancy there, but didn't need to.
Nope, his only concern right now is getting the points on the board. And I don't mean style points. Now here's Favors. Hill up top. Down low. Out to Favors. Utah needs to get off a shot here. Another miss by Utah. Houston's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the 4th quarter. And slam dunk by Nene. Now it appears an injury out on the floor, and that does not look like any fun.
Oh, man, not happy right now. You can see he is really hurting.
Oh, and you know what? Some of that pain may be mental. It's called the fear of the unknown. Let's hope it turns out to be less serious than it looked, though.
And the Jazz making a change here. Withy's checked in, and a change for the Rockets. Gordon's checked in. Favors with the screen. Hood for 3. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hood's got 9 points now in just the second half.
And he's on his way to putting up a big 3-point total.
It's Ariza on the wing. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Ariza. Morris Diaz checked in for Withy. Utah leading by 16. Now Hill. Favors with the screen. Hill kicks to Favors. An easy layup after coming off the pick.
Well, it looked as if he would never find his game after that awful first-half start, but he's really hitting his stride in the second.
Bucket is good.
Great instincts on the assist. Times that play perfect.
One thing we've seen from these guys is excellent passing.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync.
Now here is Hill. Hayward on the wing. And Favors kicks to Dion. The rebound by Anderson. Anderson's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. They get it back. And finished off by Anderson.
And, you know, it's one thing to get the offensive rebound, but then how about the loud bucket he's able to convert?
He was in perfect position under the hoop, Greg. You're right. Once he gets his hands on the miss. So it's Utah now. The Rockets making the shot. Hill with it. Favors with the screen. Hill kicks to Hayward. It's up a 3. Rockets with the rebound. It's Ariza on the wing. Defended by Hayward. And stolen by Hayward. Outside Hill. He kicks it to Favors. It's back to Hill. A shot by Hayward. Wide open. Utah the rebound.
They are really crashing the offensive glass, and it's paying off for them.
Williams passes to Anderson. 3-pointer. And Derek Favors pulls it down. Favors has got 13 rebounds in the game. Seeding. To the paint. A shot off that time. So Houston will take it the other way.
And these are the types of games where one team clearly has the edge. Tonight, it will be a win by a large margin for Utah.
A few times this season, turnovers have cost them, but they really kept the ball under control.
They were both focused and relentless.
And it'll advance their win total up to 12 on the season.
And they've taken control of the season series. This brings them to 2-0 with 1 game left against this squad. A good win, and a lot went into it. But I just like the showing for Gordon Hayward.
The energy he had, the will he showed at the offensive end was unbelievable. Even if we don't expect anything less for him, you still have to appreciate this kind of performance all the same. He was a monster out there.
Now Hill after Eric Gordon's three-pointer that didn't go. Favors with the screen. Hill kicks to Favors. From beyond the arc. It's not going to go for him. Great tee that time from Hood. Here's Hill. And so it's Utah easily grabbing the win. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. And once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, guys. Gordon, nice win for you guys tonight. What was the difference?
Energy. I think we play with a lot of energy, passion, especially defensively. You know, when we're all doing our job and we're playing and we're focused and we're solid defensively, we're not really having lapses, we can be a pretty good team. You know, that we don't have to walk the ball up the court, and it's not as difficult on our offense. So it all starts defensively, and I think it all starts with energy down there.
You've become one of the best young defensive teams in the league, Gordon. Thanks very much. Back to you.
David, thank you as always. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And coming up next, the postgame show with Ernie Johnson, Shaq, and Kenny the Jet.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thanks, Kevin. Now we have the opportunity to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Gordon Hayward. I'll tell you what, his season high in points powered everything they did. Clearly, he was the catalyst tonight as they come away with the well-deserved W.
He was just having a ball out there, making big plays up and down the court. It didn't matter who or what defensive scheme was on him. He just took the challenge and gave you the full arsenal tonight.
The energy that Gordon Hayward plays with is always what jumps out at me. He works nonstop, whether it's in transition or in the half court. He's always grinding, and it doesn't hurt that he can light it up from the outside either. Great ball game for him tonight.
That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the show, don't we, guys?
It was great.
Yeah. Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and for Kevin Harlan and the entire 2K Sports crew. All 653,000 of them.
Yeah.
Hard-working.
A lot of people.
The long line at the buffet, though.
Yeah. Shout out to the T-Pose, man.
Oh,
I don't know his name, but I know his face.
I'm Ernie Johnson. See you next time.